Sincerely Unqualified Reacts to Anchorman 2. So, directly talking about what Winnie said during our episode, you can click it above on the original Anchorman, which we loved.
Yep.
We have now done 22 Jump Street. We included it in our full podcast. We have shit on Hangover 2
multiple
and 3.
times. I have a personal vendetta against the Hangover sequels.
You do.
If you haven't noticed thus far.
I think everyone does.
Yeah.
So this movie, though, I think isn't as bad. So I think also it's great because they only did 2. They went for it. It also, we talked about the warm blanket. Anchorman, we all love. We've all grown up on Anchorman and we love it. So you earn the right to make the second movie. And because you're Adam McKay, Will Ferrell, and Judd Apatow, you don't make a bad movie.
No, I think, well, the number one thing for me is earning the right to make a second does not necessarily mean make a second. But in this case, I think it's warranted that they tried it out, especially I think because Will Ferrell himself loves playing this character. I think that the people in this movie love playing these characters so much, and you can see that come through in the second one. I mean, Will Ferrell has played this character, whether it be at sketches, award shows, like he just gets right back into it. So I think it's warranted in the sense that there's no love lost. Like with other sequels, there may be that like, oh, we're doing it again, kind of dragging out. Actors may seem a little bit repetitive. In this one, it's a genuine, like, we want to do this kind of thing.
Yeah, I almost think it's like a farewell. You know, we have all the appearances, and look, he's still around. Will Ferrell's still doing Ron Burgundy, but that's because it's such a fantastic character. And
exactly
with these appearances and with these short sketches, you can't do as much. So I think it was I was more than willing to see the full 90 minutes or whatever it is, the feature length movie, to see what they could do with it. And what we were talking about, 22 Jump Street made fun of and pointed out in your face the whole time, they kind of did here. They kind of did do the same things, but because they're so funny and because you have the comedic chops that are the Will Ferrell, Adam McKay, Judd Apatow, and the rest of the crew, you're able to do it. And we sit through this movie because that would be a huge diss. Yeah. We go through this movie and then you have the fight scene at the end. And the fight scene at the end is so fantastic, and you get all your cameos out. You have Kanye's in it. Sorry that RIP to his marriage. Sorry. Will
too soon.
You have Will Smith. Yeah, very topical. In like 8 years, this won't make sense. You have Will Smith. You have Kristen Wiig. Or no, sorry. Amy
Sacha
Poehler
Baron Cohen, Amy Poehler, Tina Fey,
yeah.
I think, well, Kristen Wiig too. I was going to say before we get into the fight, like Kristen Wiig, if you're going to bring someone in to mirror Steve Carell's character and kind of be that for, be opposite him, you have to have somebody who's as good on their feet and willing to jump into this character. And I do think that they got it perfect with Kate, with
Kristen Wiig. Yeah, they absolutely did.
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig could not have been better. I think I almost would have wanted to see a little more of them, but I could see them straying away from it because I think that could make it boring, or it could be too big of a subplot, because they really did have time to interact and play together, if you want to talk the improv sense.
Yeah, I do think it's good because it's not like Brick was highlighted too much in the first one, and that's what made it special. And I think that in limiting them, it makes it more special in the second one too. Like keeping that allure of like the quick, stupid lines that they toss back and forth, and not
it's obviously they're dependent on lines.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
I do think they did that well. But let's jump into the final fight scene because it did make it all worth it.
Sure.
You can't beat who they brought in. The first one, you had a few cameos like Ben Stiller, Luke Wilson, and Vince Vaughn. But in the second one, you just up it another level. Like to have Will Smith just popping out of nowhere. I remember seeing it in theaters and being like, oh my God, okay, cool.
Yeah. The cameo that we forgot about was the ghost of Stonewall Jackson, played by John C. Reilly. He's just sucking people's souls out like crazy. John C. Reilly, Talladega Nights coming out next week. But they have all these cameos. It works so well. Yes, we're doing the same thing, but you've earned it.
Yep. I think that the first fight scene is well worth having a second one, and you would see this movie almost for that. I don't think we knew about it. I think they kept it pretty well under wraps for the second one.
Yes.
You almost had a feeling in the back of your mind. You're like, they're going to do it again. But we didn't know for sure. So
it's not surprising at all, but you weren't watching like, oh, I bet this is going to happen.
Like, when's it going to happen? You weren't waiting, but when it happened, you were like, oh shit, here we go again. Let's see who comes up and rolls in. But
yeah. So really with this movie, I think we really liked the fight scene. Yep. We liked a few other scenes. Just wasn't to the par of what we would have liked to see out of a sequel, but comedic sequels are so hard. So they absolutely did not ruin the first movie with this.
No.
First movie's still great. This movie is what it is. We all know what it is. Got a lower rating on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. Surprisingly, the critics kept it high, which we talked about in our episode. Again, if you want to check it out, it'll be up here. They just got it.
Look, I'll say one thing, and this might come off as an insult, and I don't want it to at all.
Don't insult Judd.
No. It almost reminds me of the Entourage movie in a sense of bringing the characters back, giving us that final bon voyage, that final farewell, and then bringing a fuck ton of other cameos in.
Yeah. Is it a get the paper money?
No.
Or is it a money grab? No,
I don't think so.
I agree. I don't think it is.
Genuine, like, let's do it. Who cares?
Yeah, I think it was. They knew that they had more out of this character, and that they could have. They wanted to really do right by making a sequel, and then
exactly
they understood. They were like, "No, we're not making this a trilogy. This isn't going to turn into some whole thing. We're going to leave it here," which I absolutely respect.
Enjoy it. I like that. It brought everything almost to a close, and we're not going to see it again. These roles are not going to be reprised. Hopefully, if they're doing it right, don't hang over us.
Except I think Will Ferrell has like a podcast as Ron Burgundy.
Okay, that's awesome. Like,
get off our territory, Will Ferrell. We're more talented than you.
He does actually. He has the Ron Burgundy podcast, which just shows you, like, again, this wasn't for money. This is because he loves being that character.
He loves this character.
Because it's an awesome character. And the fact that at first, like we talked about in the last episode, it wasn't supposed to really happen. It got denied a million times. And now this character is being reprised, like brought back, but not for movies. It's just because he loves doing it. It's really cool to see.
Yeah.